Hello everybody, thank you once again for joining me. This is going to be a video based on Gruul with some Burn mixed in. My name is Justice, my handle is Sarcantuna. Do remember to subscribe for more content like this, deck techs and all the events and stuff. This is kind of a follow-up to yesterday's video. I was exploring the Gruul card. Well, let's look at the deck tech first before we get into this. Where you give all of your... Here, let me find it. I forget the name of it. That's one thing I struggle with, is remembering the names of cards. Where you give all your creatures Riot and they can't be countered. It's right here. Rhythm of the Wild. That's what we were looking at yesterday. And it ends up being kind of slow. Too slow for me to really enjoy playing with it. It's a third turn play. At best, you can get it out turn 2 with the help from Llanowar Elves and the perfect mana mix. After that, it works pretty good. If you can get it down, yeah, it works pretty good. But what I think is going to work better is, for Gruul, if you can get some burn in early and then have your Rioters come in, like Gruul Beastmaster, Frenzied Errinx even. I've got a couple Carnage Tyrants. But then you get your Rioters to come in after some burn and to kind of finish them off early. So I'm going to see if I can make that happen. And I might also play with this deck in the middle of the video. It's something that I do, especially when new sets come out, until I get it tuned up the way I like it, and then I might play it competitively. I am running 2 shocks only. I might run 4. I might take these out. I don't know. For now, I've got 2 shocks, 1 red, 2 damage. 4 lightning strikes, 2 mana, 3 damage, any target. I like these better than like some hard removal, like Lava Coil, for example, which will do 4 damage to a creature only. Sometimes you need that 3 damage to go to face, so I like that option. Running 2 Collision and Colossus. I think this card is very strong for an uncommon. The Collision side is 1 and either a red or a green. It deals 6 damage to a creature with flying, so it's a terrific Doom Whisperer removal, or any flyer removal. Like if they get a Lyra down on turn 5 and you need it to go away, Collision does the job. And then on the Colossus side, it's great because it's +4, +2, and trample. And so if you put that on like a Gruul Beastmaster or something, they get pretty big and beefy, and I like that a lot. Running 3 of Zerta Goblins. I would run a 4th. I don't have one yet. I'm not too excited about making those. But for now, it's a 2/2 with Riot, so it's most of the time it's a 3/3 or a 2/2 with Haste. So it's pretty good. I like Light Up the Stage. This is for extra card draw. If you get the Spectacle to trigger, it costs 1 mana, 1 red, and you can exile the top 2 cards of your library, which what we're going for is to draw them right until the end of your next turn. You can play those cards. 3 risk factors, good old 3 casting. Sort of like a choose one for your opponent, right? It can deal 4 damage to them, and if they don't, then you draw 3 cards, but it's got Jumpstart. And so you can use the Jumpstart side to discard extra cards you don't like in your hand that you're drawing into late game, which is pretty awesome. Skewer the Critics ends up being a 1 red sorcery, 3 damage, any target. Love this card. Skewer, Risk Factor, and Light Up the Stage are kind of like the staple red cards now. I was thinking initially that because of Light Up the Stage, we could take out Risk Factor, but really, it's just like an addition to it. Just leave it in there. It works out pretty good. I'm running 2 Rekindling Phoenixes. If I just had a plethora of wild cards, I might take out the Carnage Tyrants and put in 4 Rekindling Phoenixes for the flying, and like Skargan Hellkites. I'm going to get into Skargan Hellkites a little bit later on this month, or really later in February, and then dive into what those are going to bring to the table. But I like Rekindling Phoenix. It comes back to life with that token, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you sacrifice the token, and then your Rekindling Phoenix comes back with haste, plus it's a 4/3, and it flies. So it's nice. It's a top-end game winner. I like it. Or healthy blocker. I like Gruul Beastmaster. Even though it's a 2/2 with Riot for 4, the ability is very strong. Whenever it attacks, another creature gets +X+O, where Gruul Beastmaster's, it equals Gruul Beastmaster's power. So you could do Colossus, +4/+2, and trample on your Beastmaster. And if it's a 3/3 because of Riot, it becomes a 7/4/5, whatever, with trample. And then another creature gets +7/+O. So if that creature flies, hello, or also tramples, hello, then you're in business. You know what I'm saying? We've got 1 Domri Chaosbringer. Not sold on Domri. I wanted him to be great, but so far it's not. He's not great. He's a super threat, though. Everybody's removing him right away. So that's kind of nice to not have to eat that damage. He's a 4 casting Planeswalker. 2 and a red and a green. His +1 ability adds a red or a green, and if mana is spent on a creature, that creature gains Riot. It looks scary. It doesn't actually happen all that often. It's sort of like something that you get off once, maybe, and then he dies. Or his -3 is to look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal up to 2 creatures, and put them into your hand. That's like an extremely weak version. Those should be 2 +1s. His +1, add red or green mana, or a +1, look at the top 4 and grab a creature like Vivian Reed does. I don't like that it's -3, and then you look for 2 creatures, because you really have to be running a creature-heavy deck, and I just haven't tried that yet. Maybe I will, but it doesn't seem to be that useful. And his -8 is an emblem with, at the beginning of each end step, create a 4/4 red and green beast creature token with trample. That's very strong. But it's a pipe dream. With Domri, it's never going to happen. I mean, if you're playing a deck with no removal at all, maybe, but then you're going to win anyway with all the other creatures we have. Running 3 Frenzied Erranks for now. This is sort of in place of the other guy who we like so much, who riots also. Let me see if I can find him. I don't have any. Not the Hellkite. Gruul Spellbreaker. This is a very strong card. If I had 4 of them, I would run 4 of them. It's a 3 casting 3/3, which alone is pretty good, with Riot and Trample, and as long as it's your turn, you and Gruul Spellbreaker have hexproof. So if you have this in play and you attack, you cannot be settled wreckaged with Gruul Spellbreaker. They cannot target you. So in place of Spellbreaker, I'm running Frenzied Erranks. It costs 1 more, and the ability is different. So it's gets +3/+0 until end of turn. He's pumpable. So it's a pretty big difference in the game right here. If I pull some of these out of packs, I might finish them off and make some. I think that would be a lot stronger. Got a couple of Carnage Tyrants in there just for good measure. Good old 6 casting, can't be countered, trample, hexproof. In an ideal draw, we will see Domri turn 4 and Carnage Tyrant turn 5 with Riot. But that's a pipe dream. I don't think it's going to happen. I've got 2 Banefires just because I forgot they were in there and don't know what to replace them with, so I'm going to run them. I could even swap out Banefire for like Rhythm of the Wild. You know what? Let's do that. I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to swap it out for Rhythm and see if, even if I draw Rhythm, I may not play it turn 3, but let's just see where it lands with us, because Banefire will help against like control decks, but we should get enough of a jump on a control deck to not have to worry about it. Running 9 mountains, 10 forests, 1 rootbound crag, and 4 timber gorges. I would run more dual lands if I had them. I don't right now. I'm not really worried about it. It's kind of working out. I am running 24 lands. But with the card draw I have, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. Let's take a look at how this deck plays out. I think I'm going to like it compared to just straight up like Rioters or other trying to ramp into Gruul. I think there's a lot of Gruul ramp happening right now, but really I think I like burn into beef. If I had more lands, I might consider keeping this. I might get stuck with not a lot of options with a hand like this. 2 lightning strikes isn't bad. I can take care of early creatures. But I don't have early creatures, so if I'm going to face somebody playing a mid-range, even mid-range I could probably deal with a hand like this. But with control, I'll be stuck because I won't have any creatures to apply early pressure. And this 6 damage won't do anything at all, so he's going to have all of his options available. But let's hang on to it. Let's see if we draw into a creature. We'll go on the draw. We'll drop a tap land first. Blue. Could be anything. Our opponent Mulligan's down to 5, but he did have the opt. Got a land that we needed. If it's mono blue tempo, we could be okay. If it's Izzet, oh no, might be Izzet. We might be in a little bit of trouble, although the collision side of this looks a whole lot better, because 6 damage to a flying creature is just what we need. I don't hate drawing a bunch of land here, but if we don't have any plays until a Carnage Tyrant, then That is also not great. Chart of course, we're okay with that. He draws 2 and discards 1. He can't produce a Phoenix. What did he discard? He discards a Shock. He must not think we're playing... Well, we're not gonna be. He must not think we're playing creatures, and we are, so... So there's our Crackling Drake, our first collision target. He does get to draw a card, which puts him at a bit of a card advantage, but I'm going to hit him with collision virtually right away so we can't dive down or otherwise protect him. We'll play our tap lands just to get a jump start on some tap lands in case we draw into a Rekindling Phoenix. Now we've got two red and 2 green at will. We would have had that anyways, I suppose, but... This is a very slow start here, especially against the deck we're playing, because
think you can beat me? You're welcome to try.
He deals damage to a creature.
Ooh, let's see what we got.
He'll be dealing 4 to a creature. Yeah, only 4, so that's... Okay, here we go. I could... No, I could pop him for 6. I'm going to have to do it the hard way. Well, this is turning out to be super slow. I don't think it's going to be like this all the time.
I'm out.
And then next turn we'll have a Carnage Tyrant. And I don't think he can make me sacrifice it or anything with red and blue. Dispersal needs black. So are we going to see... Are we going to see the big guy, Niv Mizzet? Enigma Drake. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to play my Carnage Tyrant. Search for us. Well, there's nothing I can do about enchantments with this deck either. So he gets to keep it, and we're going to drop our Carnage Tyrant. And then see if we can't swing home and win with a Carnage Tyrant and some burn. This is not how I expected this deck to play out. I thought we would have a lot faster burn options. Oh, this is nice for him. He's got Azcanta going. Although it's heavy on the mana. Wilderness Reclamation might come in handy for him if he splashes green. He could untap all of his lands and search a bunch of times. I don't know if you guys have seen that nonsense, but that's a thing now, so be on the lookout for that. If he plays Niv Mizzet, I'm going to have to collision and take the 1 damage. Yeah, I'm going to have to take care of it. Although the odds that he's got to dive down are pretty strong. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to attack. Carnage Tyrant comes with trample, so I don't have to worry about it. He's got 2 blue, so Azcanta, the Sunken Ruin, can also tap for a blue. So I may have to do some... I have enough mana to do this, right? And if I collision in response to him like casting a dive down, then I can get it off. Oh, he just takes it all, huh? Well, this is an instant. Perfect. If he runs out of mana, we pounce. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. There's one, and it's all coming to me. He can't target Carnage Tyrant with that, so that's interesting. If he doesn't tap all of his blue, and he's got to dive down, that makes this a little trickier. Let's see what he does attack with his attacks here. Okay, all right. Ouch. So now he draws a card. I take one. He draws 2 cards. And I take 2. I'm just waiting to see if he taps out. Oh boy. He might be trying to get as much damage in by card draw as possible. And then I take 2 more. I'm at 4, right? So as long as I can kill Niv Mizzet before he draws a card, we're in business. He's got 5 mana. Crackling Drake. He draws a card. He still has the option to dive down. So why don't we... I'm going to take 1. Yeah. We'll just let that resolve. And then we'll kill his Crackling Drake. See this? I'm going to take... Oh, I'm gonna die. Well, let's see. 3. Oh, and he gets to draw a card. It's all on the stack, right? Okay, let's see what happens. This is game. I think Niv Mizzet has won the game for him in 1 turn. Deals 1 damage. He's got to pick me. Okay, Niv Mizzet dies, but all those effects are still on the stack. Lovely. They're not. This does not look very promising for me, though, all of a sudden. Oh, boy. Well, that was an awful lot of work to get rid of the Great Dragon. So he takes this, and he wins that game. Okay. I suppose it's nice to know that there's options against Niv Mizzet, though. That's one way to look at it. And after that super slow start, I'm glad I was able to put up a fight at least. So let's see what another draw might do. And if I get a slow start like that again, now I know to take a mulligan. Sometimes that's half the game right there, is knowing when to take a mulligan and when you can live with the cards you have in your hand. First rate Nate. Alright. See what we got going on. I don't hate light up the stage or risk factor in my opening hand either, even though not a lot of creatures. I do like having some card draw, potentially early card draw. Okay, I like Rekindling Phoenix, though I see Simic, so it's maybe prone to getting countered. I'm not ready to start targeting things with Lightning Strike just yet. Yep, we'll do another tap land. Get another. So it's actually panning out to be kind of a slower deck. Maybe instead of... Well, I like Lightning Strike. I do. I think I'm going to hang on to it. Yep. Definitely going to keep it, because Lightning Strike kills the Exclusion Mage. I mean, the Jadelight Ranger and Exclusion Mage. That guy. And then we're on pace to do a turn 4 Rekindling Phoenix, which he could kill it and then bounce the token. But the odds are he bounces creature an opponent controls. He bounces the the Phoenix itself. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what he does here. We got plenty of land. If we draw into a Carnage Tyrant, we're in business. And we'll draw through some of the deck here. Something that I like. Okay. I knew that was coming. I literally saw it. This is some good pressure, though. 2 Branch Walkers in a row. Do a Phoenix again. And if he drops another Exclusion Mage on me, I will not be happy. Shade Light. Null Hide. Okay. Alright, well, I think we got to get the Carnage Tyrant down. Just to use her as a big fat blocker. And it's hexproof, so he can't be targeting it with like an Exclusion Mage or anything silly that he's got in his deck. This is kind of a neat addition to Simic, though, isn't it? Nullhide? Okay. So now I know he can't play non-creature spells. That's fine. Alright, now we've got some options. Okay, we've got ourselves a game here. Frenzied Erranx is going to be a 4-4. Beastmaster is going to be a 3-3. I am definitely on for Frenzied Erranx at a 4-4. I was hoping to have more burn to the face by now, so I'm missing something for that. Where we could start swinging in for 4 flying and all these creatures, there's nothing you could do about it, but my life total got a little too low for me to be all that happy about it. I'm on a risk factor. He will undoubtedly take the 4 right here. And then what I can do next turn when I draw a land, I can risk factor again. I'll save my blockers. So the 6, his Nullhide, my Carnage Tyrant gets killed by the Nullhide. It's just going to be a fact of life here, I think. And then I can block the Jade Light with Rekindling Phoenix and not have to worry about losing, having a net loss of a creature. Ooh, it's a Lightning Strike. Okay. Now we're in business. I could Lightning Strike to the face area. Light up the stage for 1. I like this idea. Check this out. Right, so we'll let him have these creatures and we'll just use our suitable blocking base. We'll light up the stage. If he has a counter spell, he can't use it. I get to draw 2 in exile. Sort of. Not draw 2, but they're exiled. Right. Oh, this is great. I can play this Beastmaster down. Okay. This is sort of what I expected, and using Burn to kind of get to the mid-range of the game. This is okay. Okay, it's kind of cool. This gives me a healthy blocker for his 2-1. I've got a blocker for his 4-3. His 3-5 is a little tricky, which might get through this time around. I still have a Colossus. Oh, so now he's gonna cast a spell. Ah, so he's got to pay extra mana for Nullhide. Biogenic Ooze. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you can cast it. Okay, so this next turn's got to be a good one. Alright, let's see what he does. I want to lose as few creatures as possible. Remember, Nullhide does not trample. Okay, don't make that mistake. I've made that mistake before. So now I still have my creature. He can only block 3, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage. And I can potentially hit him for a bunch. Nullhide takes 6 to buff him up. Not going to do that. Okay, here we go. Yes, we are going to trample. Not trample, but I'll Colossus and he'll trample. He doesn't trample, but he flies. Okay, so here we go. Target creature gets +4/+2. Oh, I do have enough mana for this. Okay, we'll make him a 7/4. Alright. This should be game. And then we'll give the buff to our flyer. So our Phoenix is going to swing in for 11. 3, he doesn't have enough. This is 21 right here, and all he can stop is what, 14? 3, 5, 8, 9, 11, 14. Yeah, so this is quite game. All of them trample. So it works pretty good against Ooze, Simic Ooze. This is only stopping 4 damage, it's not enough. He wasn't able to plan this out like I was after seeing the Colossus side, which is just huge, I'm telling you. Colossus on Beastmaster attacking, it's so powerful if you're able to get that combo off. It used to be known for that back in the day, like 6-card combos. It was pretty crazy. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 to the face. 5 to the face. Yep. Bam. They'll meet in the middle. Okay. Okay, I like where this is going. I like this. This is a cool theme for me. This is working out really well. We'll get in one more game. I'd like to see how it handles aggro. In theory, Riot should counter aggro nicely by using the counter to be an effective blocker. Ooh, we've got Rhythm of the Wild, risk factors, a shock. Okay. Okay. Tin Street Dodger. Is this guy doing that Cavalcade of Calamity nonsense? No play on turn 2. Again, slow. It's very slow. Huh, okay. Well, then it's slow. We'll see what he plays, though. He should be playing a lot of one, or unless he's just using it for the haste. I'm not in a rush to nuke his Dodger, though it's only 1 damage, and I should, in theory, be able to get enough blockers out there. This is going to be 4 turns before I can play a creature, or a risk factor, or light up the stage. This is wild. A skewer. Okay. He just must be using the haste to trigger Spectacle. Timber Gorge. Timber Gorge can't come down just yet. We'll do Rhythm of the Wild. What does he sacrifice? No, he pays a red. Okay, you can shock in response. So he's trying to do as much damage as possible. Palaka Worm might go nice for some life gain, maybe in the sideboard. See, I've seen a lot of guys putting Rhythm of the Wild in the sideboard right now. The internet folks. Yeah, he's doing the Cavalcade of Calamity nonsense. How funny. Okay, now we'll do this guy. We'll do Zerta. We'll give him a +1/+1. We'll make him a 4/4. Now he survives like Shock and Lightning Strike, although he probably has some tricks up his sleeve for it. This is a lot of damage early, but I think I can survive it. I really want to remove his creatures more than... I'm going to kill the Dodger. I want to remove his creatures more than damage his face area. This is a sorcery, so he can't combat trick me. Which I need. So he shocks me, I'm down to 4. Wow, this is not terrific. We're going to shock this guy, and we're going to risk factor, and we're going to hold a blocker. I doubt he takes the 4. And we light up the stage. A Zerta and a Beastmaster. No attackers. Okay. And they're going to double Riot. I do need a land, though. So this is tricky. I like the Beastmaster double Rioting. Okay, so he's doing this. And then I'm going to be at 3. He's got to have 1 burn card in there. He's got to have 1. Yeah, Lightning Strike. Okay. Well, that was too fast. Okay, so there's the answer to my question. I got an aggro play. And it's a little too slow to handle aggro. So maybe cleaning up that bottom end, or maybe I will try and mulligan into like a Zertog Goblin in hand. You know, that would have definitely halted that aggro nonsense. Or he would have had to eat the lightning strike. Would have had to go to my goblin versus my face. But I like this a lot better than the other stuff I've been playing with. I like some burn and Gruul combined. This Riot's on fire. So again, the most expensive creatures in the deck. Okay, I'm going to take a mulligan here. Even though this is a great starting hand. Not great. It's good, but I would rather these be cheaper creatures. I'm going to take a mulligan. Not it. Okay, well, I'm going to... 4 mana? I think we're good. I think we'll draw into it with Light Up the Stage. And we're on the draw. So, Azorius. Okay, Skewer. Wow. Right. 3 of those Skewers and a Carnage Tyrant. Yeah, I'm thinking Carnage Tyrant comes out, though we did win a game with it. I'm on the fence. 4-color deck. Green, black, white, blue. All colors. Oh, this is gates. Okay. Gate control. I do not believe we win this game. Yeah. Slow versus slow. Wonder why this deck is so slow. I thought it should be a little faster, but you know, obviously we got something wrong. I'm going to light up the stage early because I want to draw into... That's perfect. I can lightning strike him in the face and then skewer him for 1. Although he's gained enough. Some of these guys are running with this this gate deck. They're running. Well, I could handle the Gatebreaker ran. Oh shoot! No, I can't. Doesn't trigger Spectacle. That's my bad. So you can't lightning strike and a creature and then Spectacle that creature. You've got to trigger Spectacle by damaging the opponent. 4, 5. Okay, let's do it this way. Hope. Yeah, it's a little too slow, so I'm missing something. I'll keep working on it to speed it up. Maybe it's more creatures. Oh, a Gruul Spellbreaker would help out quite a bit too in a deck like this one. And maybe that might be the missing piece. I've seen people running Jade Light Rangers for the Explorer. That's a good one. Life gain. It's hard for me to overcome. He doesn't get any bigger. He does get bigger. So we'll definitely block. Take the 5 and then drop our Carnage Tyrant next turn to use as another blocker. And I can take 1. Carnage Tyrant cannot be countered. We're happy with that. I'm sitting on 12 damage here. That's pretty funny. He's got the city's blessing. Oh no, he has no hand size. Gates ablaze. Alright, kills my dude. That's tricky. I don't like that at all. So I have to block or die. He kills my Carnage Tyrant. Keeps his dumb ram. I'm at 1. I mean, the game's pretty much over, right? Another one. Yeah, so I would have... It's almost like this needs to be the top end, and anything over 4 has got to go. Well, and I blew it with the skewer the critics earlier. It just seems like this deck is too susceptible. Gruul in general is too susceptible to a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, good game, dude. Did good. Go for it. I mean, it's like it's susceptible to control. Even if you have Rhythm of the Wild out, they can't be countered, but they still, there's so much removal, mass removal, Kaya's Wrath, Cleansing Nova, they're all gone, Deafening Clarion, that's cool. all he wants to do is protect his Gatebreaker ramp. Yeah, you're gonna win. You're gonna win. So I mean, it's situationally good. Situationally good, but it relies too heavily on creatures. And right now, there's nothing in green or red that will effectively remove artifacts and enchantments. Effectively, there are removals, but I mean, like mono red and red in general is still missing a braid where you could remove an artifact or deal damage to a creature. That was super strong, and I think that's what made the deck very viable. It's still missing something, in my opinion, but this was a much funner way to play it rather than like all Riots. I like it with some burn in there. It works out a lot nicer. Anyways, stick around, guys. Subscribe. I'm going to be diving into all the deck types. Azorius is next on my list. We'll see what that brings up. Deputy of Detention's really been pissing me off, so I'm going to try and play it and figure out the best way to beat that sucker. Azorius is pretty strong for control, and like maybe Esper control in there somewhere too. Stick around. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.